Iată, avem șansa să ne și vedem acum, dar o să ne auzim și în noaptea de vineri. I guess you have some problems. Oricum, fiind totul aproape live, dar și înregistrat, mergem pe varianta mixtă. Îl avem în studio pe unul dintre cei mai talentați chitariști ai momentului și ai lumii. Lui se spune și Pedro.
That's correct.
Yes. And Enrique. And Kiko.
Yeah.
And
Loureiro. Yes. Laurel.
That's
Laurel free.
Yes.
Loureiro.
That means?
Yeah, that means.
Asta e un nume frumos portughez, dar el vine de la Rio de Janeiro.
Yes.
That's correct. That's the accent. Yes.
Yeah. Good enough.
Și e născut în 72, în 16 iunie, așa că o să pornim la drum cu câteva întrebări. Are you a football fan?
I used to be.
No more.
Yeah, I don't have the time.
Being a Brazilian, you don't like football?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like football. I just,
You have some favorite player?
Yeah, I guess, Neymar. Neymar. But, I come from the time that, Ronaldo, in the 90s.
Yes.
Yes. And even before that, but then it's too old,
Nobody's too old.
No, I mean, like in the 80s when I was young, really like a child, I was like super into it.
Like usually the people when Brazil, that means football, samba, and sometimes guitar players.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes. But you should know that better than me.
Samba. Yeah, Carnival.
You like it?
Pelé. And Neymar and Ronaldo, yeah.
Yes?
Yeah,
so all these names are okay.
Yeah.
Being in Rio till when?
No, the Rio thing, I was born in Rio, but I went to São Paulo, which is a big city.
So you didn't grow up in
No, I
Rio.
grew up in São Paulo, yeah.
I will change the text.
No, but I was born in Rio, which is cool, people know, Rio is a famous city. So
and you got to school in
São
Paulo?
São Paulo, yeah. But I have a good relation with Rio because my parents and all my family are from Rio.
How do you explain the fact that always the rock field is very strong in Brazil? Always when I'm looking about good DVDs,
the DVDs live
great concert, it's always from Rio.
We have the Rock in Rio, have the DVD from Rush. It was very nice.
Yeah, but why is that? Because
I think the fans are great. They're like, they sing the songs. They're like the energy, So when an artist comes from US or comes from Europe to Brazil, they're like, whoa, that's different. That's special. Let's film. Let's film that. So that's what happened.
That's why it's so huge audience always.
Huge audience and very passionate about the music, And so the energy, so the artists can feel the energy. So they decided always to record something.
Is it true that you started studying the guitar after your sister quit?
Yeah. So
the lessons. Yeah. Is it true?
Yeah.
Why you did that? You were waiting for her to change?
No. What happened? No. I was 11. I was 11 years old, and my sister was 12 years old. And then there was a acoustic guitar teacher, teaching us the chords, first lesson. And my mother paid the teacher, and then my sister said, "I don't want any more."
I said, "I'm here."
No. Then my mother said, "You, the younger brother, you're doing nothing. You'll come. I paid already, so you start having some lessons, please." And then I got the guitar. I'm left-handed, so I got the guitar like that, and the teacher said it's not possible because she wants to play as well. And then I started playing like right-handed.
And you changed the position?
Yeah.
And you're no more left-handed?
I mean, I write with my left hand, but I play like a right-handed. Yeah.
That's strange, because.
Well, I don't know if it's strange. I hope I'm not a strange guy.
No, you're not a strange guy, but a strange action.
Yeah, but
someone who's a left-handed guitar player, no?
Well, Jimi Hendrix, of course. But like Steve Morse and I know Steve Morse, Matthias Jaklung is like left-handed. There's like many guitar players. If you think, only the rock guys are the lazy ones they want to change. You see like the drummers, like Ian Pace or like
so not just the guitar players.
But the classical world, You don't see like a violin player playing like this. You don't have like a piano player for like you don't have like other instruments or like a flute player playing like this. So you don't have it, right? Because you can learn, you know.
You can learn.
Yeah, of course.
That's a good idea.
From the beginning,
he's a teacher. He's a real teacher.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're gonna probably have a different way of learning, but yeah.
How you explain the fact that heavy metal or power metal, it's much more like that. Power metal is so strong in Brazil.
In Brazil? I don't know. People like it, you know, but Brazil has a lot of people, so it doesn't mean that's like all of them likes power metal. Actually, it's not that many. They prefer the carnival, you know, Brazilian music, domestic music in Portuguese that they can understand the lyrics. But there's a big scene of heavy metal and hard rock in Brazil for sure. And then for some reason, the metal guys there, they like the power metal, the more European way of playing this heavy metal. Yeah, very influenced by the European bands. Yeah.
Is it true that you became successful in Japan when you had only 20 years old?
Yeah, what happened was we recorded our first album. We had like a connection through a guy that we knew in Germany that had like, you know, a guy that knew another guy in Japan.
It was with Angra?
Yeah, with Angra.
Angra.
Yeah. Yes. Angra.
That's the right Angra. Spelling. Angra.
Oh, no, that's not a French way. So
if you want to.
Angra. The Italian, so how would be the Italian? Angra.
You see?
Angra.
We are the same.
Yeah. So what happened was we did a demo tape. Back then, we'd have a cassette tape and sending by post. And then to this German guy, German guy, specific guy that was like into this kind of music, he sent the cassette tape to the Japanese record company. They like it. They kind of financed the album, the recording. We recorded in Germany with a nice. We use all the money. We put all the dreams in, you know, the first impression. Let's do the best we can. All the money, some extra money. Let's do it like in Germany, because in Brazil we are not. We didn't know it would be a good place to record this kind of music, because Brazil was never like back then in 93 a good place to record this kind of music. Record the album, and then it was gold disc in Japan. Out of nothing. We didn't expect that, and it was a surprise for everybody.
Without a tour? Without promotion?
A tour, no. Just the album out, boom, gold disc. People like the melodies, the songs, the guitars, whatever. They love it.
It's a good chance for you.
And then we start doing interviews and taking pictures and being and then it took like 3 years to go to Japan. So we were very successful
without being there.
Just like just like doing interviews on the phone, you know. And then we did another album, and then we went to Japan. Yeah.
And how did you like it?
That was great, because actually it was kind of a strategy then, because the management and even us, the album was so successful. It was a different time. There was no YouTube or nothing like that. So people were listening to the music and it's like, the band is great, but we were not so professional on stage in the same level that was the album. So it's better not play on stage there.
There are not many people, they say that.
Well,
but you're a sincere guy.
Yeah, we are not that good. You know, one thing is to record the album. You can play like 100 times the same part until it's really good. You know, and then you have of course. Back then we were really playing. There was no Pro Tools, but it was like real playing. But you can repeat many times until it's the best. But then live, if you're like a gold disc band, it's just like you're selling as a big name.
So you were a little bit afraid.
And then you don't have the same concert, the same show as a big name. You know, right. Whatever, good lights and good, crew and the sounds and lights and the text and stuff. So the manager said, let's not go now. We do another album. You guys have to play more. You guys are too young. And I was 21, 22, get more experience. And then in the second album, then we went there with a better, production.
It was great.
It was a smart strategy, because maybe if you would have done that right after the gold disc and play there with like a not so good show, the band would go down.
That's correct. That's correct. In the 90s, the MTV decided that shredding and heavy metal bands are no longer cool. You remember?
I remember that. But
Did it affect you?
It didn't really affect me because the transition was when I was starting.
So
I think it really affected.
No sufferance.
It affected like the Megadeth guys affected because they were like doing the MTV thing in the 80s, and then suddenly Nirvana, no solos, and everything was changing. I was starting in the early 90s, so I was starting when the trend of the this guitar thing was gone down. Yeah, and then that's why the success was in Japan and not in US, because in US was like the Nirvana thing, and then Japan was still more 80s kind of vibe. The guitar, the musicianship kind of thing.
I want to tell to our friends who are looking at us, dacă cineva se uită la noi acum, să le spunem că datorită lui Corrado, he is the one who made possible this meeting.
Yeah, our friend here, Corrado.
Thank you, Corrado, because you are a teacher too, not just a guitar player.
I'm a teacher, yeah.
Then how come that you are a teacher, and if you really like it, or you do it just by occasional?
Now, when I was 16 years old, some friends, I was playing guitar, studying at home. Some friends came, so like, you play better than me. I give you some money to teach me?
Really?
There was no, in Brazil, it was not easy to get books, or there was no YouTube. There was like the materials, like you really needed to have somebody to teach you. So I started because some people asked me. But then I started, I like it. I always like it. Teaching, it was always a way to keep, my stuff together. It was, have a good students. It's always good to, exchange some knowledge. And then I started teaching a lot. And it's the first thing. It's not the first thing, but it's an easy way to go when you start. If you're like a player that practice a lot, you can always teach people. It's a good way to earn money. If you want to have a band and try to play, that's gonna take more time, more effort, more money, more investment. So the teaching is always like one-on-one, and you can have some results right away. So then I like it. And then I start doing some guitar clinics with this more like kind of a showcase, like a presentation.
It's an interesting name, Guitar Clinics.
I don't know who gave that name, but it's
it sounds
important.
It sounds strange for me because I worked in a clinic, but it was a psychiatric clinic.
Well, it's kind of like a lot of guys.
You are from a guitar clinic, so we are the same.
Your partners in crime, yeah.
Yes, but now you are here for a meeting with the Romanian guitar players.
Yes.
And for a clinic.
Yes.
And what it means concretely, what you do? You talk to them, you play to them, you play with them?
No, I don't play with them. I play some of my songs.
Yes.
And I talk to them, and I do some question and answers. And I try to show. It depends on. I have different ones. It depends on the audience,
the level
of stuff. It depends where you do. If you do like really for guitar students, you can go deep into the guitar techniques, or really into the music scales, whatever, and the experience as a musician. Which I like to talk about the profession, how to be a musician. Because normally we talk to younger players, and I was there. I was a younger player, not knowing is this a real profession? Can I do that as a living?
But now you know it is a profession?
Yes, I'm sure about it.
Okay.
So then it's something that
it's good to know.
Yeah. And then some people are really afraid because it's kind of a difficult thing to decide to be an artist, because you have to have a little bit of being an entrepreneur kind of vibe. You have to take care of your own stuff, be creative, and then go there, invest your time, you invest your effort, invest your money in something that you have to really believe that somebody's going to buy one day. Yeah. And then you have to have this inside. If you don't have that, maybe it's better to go and get a job in something else. So it's kind of because people get afraid of that, and then because they don't understand how it works, the music business somehow. So sometimes I like to talk about that as well. Okay, that's possible if you're really passionate about music. There's a way to live playing whatever instrument you play. Or if you want to teach, if you want to play, if you want to have a studio, if you want to be a composer, if you want to do jingles for radio, TV, if you many different ways, you know. So it's good to talk about that, and then people say, well, yeah, why not?
They are asking questions.
Yeah, then of course we can talk about that.
So it will be your first meeting with the Romanian students.
Yes, I'm very excited about it. Yeah.
Maybe Corrado will tell me how many people will be there. 100.
Maybe about 200.
About 200.
I was expecting a little bit more.
You see, you have 200 people there.
Guitar players, that's what I mean.
I guess.
You see, it's not a it's a difficult profession to have already 200 people to compete. But we don't compete because music is not a competition. You co-compete.
Of course, you do it
you do
together.
Yeah, you build a movement. You build a movement. That's what Conrado does here because he creates a movement and then becomes powerful, and then people really can believe in their dreams. If they want to become a professional guitar player, or if they want to do it as a hobby, which is fine too, and it's great, and use music to have fun in life.
Just fun in life, of course. Your father. I saw some YouTube with a little lady.
Yeah. My daughter.
How old is she?
4.5.
And you stay with her in a studio, or not too much?
Not too much. Yeah. She was on tour with me a few days ago. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And she loves your music?
Well, yeah, she prefers Frozen, but. But
that's
I can't tell her, let's play monster music. And then she likes the monster music.
She likes the
monster music, yeah.
Really?
And then she's okay, yeah, well, let's play monster music, then it's fine. But she prefers Frozen,
I can understand that.
Yeah,
so this kind of clinics all over the world, you were in different countries. You
are
everywhere. You are invited, or you propose yourself? How it works?
I'm invited. Basically, yeah. Normally, I'm invited. And try to be with my daughter in a family. It was very hard. It was very hard. So this year, it's just impossible to keep that. So I have a friend in my place in Angra, so they're doing shows and stuff. They're coming to Europe in October actually, and I talk to them all the time and help the band somehow behind the backstage.
You're even a composer.
Composer is as well, and then now I'm here. I'm in Europe, and I'm saying general already for like 6 weeks for the summer festivals, and I'm on tour since April, end of April. I'm on tour.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's a long time.
You will forget where you live.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I have a house in LA.
You have one?
Yeah, but
are you sure?
No, I'm not sure.
Yes.
But there's a place there. But I don't have this feeling that I have my own bed. I don't know.
You have a own bed. You have one. And you have a good neighbors.
I don't know that my neighbor because I'm never there.
No? I thought you would say some big names.
Oh, well, yeah, because, yeah.
No, I didn't know anything. It's just guessing.
Yeah. No, of course, I live in, yeah. No, I have, in general,
I swear
because...
I didn't know anything. I just guessed.
I mean, when you live in LA, you have neighbors, but...
Of course.
Neighbors have to drive half hour. But,
so,
I mean, like, the neighbors, like, the house beside me...
There is nobody.
I know the people, but they're never there, so I don't have a relationship. But it's funny, I live really in LA there, and then there's like a very, it's cool to have like your idols living around you, kind of in the same neighborhood. I don't know, like a Ruth Sarso, he was to play a bass player from Whitesnake and Price Riot and Ozzy.
Ozzy is there.
Yeah, he lives
somewhere.
I mean, yeah, in the area, It's
But
not
you can hear him anytime.
No, because LA, you have to drive somewhere.
I saw.
I have to drive to get a coffee in LA. It's
It's so close.
But I have like Derek Sherinian is lives really like few blocks.
Yeah.
Then I can walk to his house. Yeah. So sometimes we meet for a coffee or something. He comes skating and stuff. Yeah.
So you have neighbors anyway.
Yeah.
That's good to know. But you have you had or you have even now some guitar heroes that you loved when you were very young, and even now the same guitar heroes.
All of them.
Who are they?
Sure. I'm gonna mention at least like 50 names here, but
just a few of them.
We're talking about Robin Ford, who's one of them.
Yes.
Robin Ford, but I like the Steves. Steves are great. Steve Vai, Steve
Any
Morse,
kind of Steve.
Steve Lukather. I like Steves. I like Joe's. Joe Satriani.
I like Steve's and Joe's.
Yeah. No, just kidding. But I was really into guitar studying a lot. Very late 80s and beginning of the 90s, so I got all the California shredders, Paul Gilbert, Mark Friedman,
Jason Becker yourself.
Because of them.
Because of them.
Yeah, because of them. Yeah. And Angry Mom scene. And then I do like the blues, like Robin Ford, not much the old traditional blues. I always like a little bit of fusion, like Frank Gambale as well.
And some funky blues.
Yeah. Then Robin Ford was a good name, and George Benson, the jazz guys too. I was listening to. Of course, Brazilian music was always very intense as well. For me, very important. And many guys. And then of course, Led Zeppelin was one of the first bands that I got passionate about it. So Led Zeppelin, Jim Page, it's very important. Jeff Beck as well. Many names, Greg Howe.
They are important because the young people who are listening or looking at us, they are interested of your background as a musician, and these names they are useful for them.
Yeah.
And how does it work with Dave Mustaine? How it's hard to work with him?
That's a very common question.
I know everybody. Somebody put it here. I wouldn't ask.
No, but it's a very good question because I think everybody. If it's a common question, it's because everybody wants to know.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. But for me, it's great. I have no problem. And we get along really well. And it's amazing because he's kind of a guitar legend as well. And I grew up with. I remember going to shows,
Really?
Yeah. I remember. Well,
you were a fan of Megadeth.
I remember going to '91. There was a festival in Brazil. I've been to like 3 or 4 times. But the first one was always like there in the heart. They kind of remember really well. And it was a big one. It was Rock in Rio. And so I was a big fan of Mark Friedman as a guitar player as well because I knew his work before, the guitar player of Megadeth. And then I remember when he joined Megadeth, and then I was listening to Megadeth as well. So it was a big thing, and it's fun to be there now on stage playing those songs.
It's a great feeling to be there after you looked at them.
And then with Mustaine, it's cool because you learn from the source. He's kind of create the style. The style they call the thrash metal, the Big Four. Anthrax, Metallica, Megadeth. Slayer.
Yes.
So this style. So he was like the technical player. He was kind of the more progressive guy that wanted to have more more depth into the music. So it's cool to work with him.
And you worked even with the new album.
Yeah, I joined the band just before recording the album. So I was there in the studio. I recorded all the guitars and
it's a different album from the others.
Yeah,
the fans they say so. Even
the fans are really digging it. They like it. It's like it was a very good result in the charts and the sales and the tour. That's why I'm like being all over the place playing a lot because the album was very successful and we're playing everywhere. So I think it's an album that has a lot of stuff that has to do with the legacy of the band.
Of course.
And then when the people listen, it's like, oh, that's what I want to hear from Megadeth. but he also brings something fresh, something modern. So it's not like, okay, we're playing the old stuff, repeating the old stuff. Some bands, some legendary bands, sometimes they go back and kind of repeat themselves. So this is kind of a good way of keeping the legacy, keeping, what people expect from the name for the, where they see the logo, the cover, and that's what they expect. The sound they hear when they see the imagery, but then it sounds something up to date. And I think that was a good mix that made the album.
Old and new in the same time. But because you're a teacher too, you can explain us, because always the kids, they're asking for it, how it works being 2 or 3 lead guitarists at the same time on the stage. Because I know our young listeners, even guitar players, they are asking always, how you do it?
3 guitar players, I don't know. But 2 worked really well, I think.
Lead guitar players.
You have, in case of, I play with Angra's 2 guitar players as well, me and Raphael, and we've been playing more than 20 years together. With Mustang 2, we're just kind of starting this relationship. You have to practice, you have to play together, have to share, and have to be very humble, and have to be very sincere what you cannot play, and exchange that, help each other.
Does it work?
It works, yeah.
Usually it works.
Yeah, it works. I think it's interesting that because Angra, with Megadeth, I have a short, I've been like a year and a half, kind of.
Your own project, it's.
But Angra, which is like 20-something years, and I know Raphael, the other guitar player from Angra, even before Angra. So we were 17 when we met. And it's interesting because the lineup of the band changed, but my relationship with him is always great. Always great. Like a couple, ups and downs, but always great. Always very respectful. And that people would imagine, oh, you guys are going to compete because you both play the same instrument. But actually, playing the same instrument connects us better. And I think that's the same with Megadeth. It's something that connects. We're like kind of partners because of the instrument, because the empathy of understanding the difficulties and the happiness of playing that instrument.
He's a great teacher. He will convince me for anything and for everything. With Staria.
Yeah, I've been here. I played here.
You played here.
Which was 2008. 2009?
8.
Oh, so it's not your first trip to
No, that was
Romania.
2009.
So, but you didn't get out from the room, or because when I asked you if you know anything about Romania, you didn't say that you were here.
Yeah, I think it was like because sometimes the tours are like a day in a place.
So you come and go.
Maybe you come at night, and you're tired, and then you sleep, and then you wake up, and then maybe you have a morning free. Maybe you go out to take a walk, maybe not.
So you forgot.
Yeah, I remember. What I really remember was the language, which for me is very interesting.
Because it sounds like Portuguese.
It sounds the Portuguese and stuff. It was like the first reaction of seeing the stuff in the street, trying to read the stuff, and seeing people talking. That was very interesting. That's what I remember, and some buildings. But I didn't have time to go sightseeing.
But how is it to work with a lady like that? It's hard work.
No, it's great. I think it's a bit different in a way, but I loved her. So she's great. And the band was great. The whole band, great musicians, and
you got even in studio with her.
I recorded some acoustic guitars for her, but then I recorded and sent the files to her. So I was not in studio.
Being there.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between because you had a chance now to compare Brazilian fans with everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
What there are big differences between European and Brazilian or Japanese people.
But the styles brings this kind of the same. The way they wear the clothes, the shirts, and the way they act. There's something about something that I'm talking to the Megadeth guys recently. There's something about the age as well, because touring, I never really played a lot in US. I was always playing Asia, South America, Europe, and now I had a chance to play big venues in US, North America, Canada, and US. And I noticed like it's a mix of young and older generation. I mean, older
Kids and their
like
daddies.
the kids and the parents.
Yeah,
Very common to come in a meet and greet, VIP kind of thing. The parent with the kid, both with the Megadeth shirts and stuff. So the guy who was a teenager in the 80s, so the guy is like close to 50, and then the guy has a son of 20, So that's more common. And I was observing that, I was trying to think why. And in Europe, too, is a bit older, or mixed, or really older, in Germany, someplace. And you go to South America, it's younger. And then you go to some other places, like we're just playing Turkey, or playing Israel, younger.
Younger.
Yeah.
And in Japan, you don't know the age.
Japan is younger too. It's a mix a little bit, but it's mixed. But during the shows younger, but there's older people too. The press and then the business behind older.
Of course. Even if it's heavy metal or
the heavy metal older. You talk because I think I don't know, the Japanese, they keep their places there, so the guy who's interviewing you in 92 is the same person in the same place. They don't change, they keep changing, or they sell the company to another company, this kind of things. So it's the same company for 30 years and we're the same guy there.
it's good or bad?
I think it's great because you can have this long friendship. I have friends in Japan that were there when I was 20 and they're the same guys. The guys from the record company that signed the first contract when I was 21
Good to know.
is the same
I will
guy.
tell the people here to do the same thing.
It's the same guy that I'm
Keep the
talking
good
about.
guys.
Yeah, it's the same guy I'm talking. They're very they respect time,
Of course.
the effort
And
they give to the company
And
whatever
for the
you
good guys, if they are good, you keep them.
Of course. And then, but that's interesting. So when you go to Brazil, some other place, and have younger people, and then you have to understand South America, 80s, you have like military dictator. So there was no bands going there. There's very hard to get music.
Really?
In a way. Not hard, but maybe the big bands, but it was not that easy to have a lot of stuff, not easy to get albums. So it kind of closed a lot of domestic music. So that's what I kind of trying to understand. And I think Eastern Europe, it's maybe I'm saying something wrong, but that's my impression in general, because kind of after 89, so it's more freedom,
Of course.
so more stuff coming from abroad, and then people get more bands coming in, more tours coming in, the music business get stronger, more stuff, and then the fans are like from the 90s old. So that's why you don't have like the 50 years old guys on the audience. Like I grew up listening to that. You don't have that much in
No,
South
because we
America.
didn't have
Maybe
the records.
you're not.
I grew up with all this music, so for me it's easier to say, but it was hard to buy.
Yeah. So it
and
would
to
be
get.
really the die-hard fan. The guy I really want the guy who's going to import, the guy who's going to pay more money, the guy who's going to stay and get this one copy of the album, right?
Of course.
So South America's like that, but the generic people, to have a lot of people that would be again to the concept 30 years ago, you have to have a lot of people that years ago you have another 500 of these 50 years old guys. You probably have to have like 5,000 there to have 30 years ago another 500.
That's true.
So that's what I noticed playing differently, playing in different countries.
How would you define the rock scene today? Because you had the chance to see the people, to see how they buy or don't buy records, because the internet is changing the show business. And
the internet changed it. It's not changing. Changed it.
Changed.
Yeah.
He did it.
Yeah.
So
he did it already. That's past already.
Who needs a record anyway?
Who needs? Yeah, nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
But the music, it's there.
The music people need music.
Of course. Yeah. So the rock scene changed very much in the last 10 years, let's say?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, everything is upside down. Yeah, many things changed since the way the industry works, the way you record the albums, the way how the skill you need to be a musician to record a great album.
Yes.
It was different in the past. It's different now. The way you compose, the way you record, the way you sell music, the way you perform, the way you book the shows.
So everything is
very, very, very different. And I started it in the mid '90s. I could say that was like the band was going on. They kind of had the feeling of the music business somehow. And then the problem that there was this period, like 2001 and 2008. There's kind of a lost generation that believe that music has to be for free. That's a gap, and we don't have that anymore. And that's the second big change. You have like the vinyl and CD was kind of the same thing. The CD was like a boom that I think the record companies thought, well, that's going to be our gold.
Yes.
But then it comes the Napster, the MP3 thing, and then suddenly people say, I don't pay for music because music in the background, this should be free. It's like air, like water, air, right? It's like water that you drink.
They don't think about you as an artist, the creator.
Well, but if you open the sink and have water, right?
Yes.
You don't think like how complicated it is to have that water, because if you think about the African countries, you're gonna see they don't have water. And you open your sink, you have water, you can even drink this water. You don't think how much money somebody put to create that system, right?
That's true.
So it's for free. So I have I take for granted. And then that's what the young generation, 2000, and I was there because I was releasing albums there. Music's for free. I'm not gonna pay because I just press download and I have the whole.
I hope you don't agree. I hope you don't agree with that.
15 years ago, I didn't agree. Now I agree. Okay, I changed because things change, and I changed with time as well. Totally.
Okay.
But the thing is, then some guy that was not from the music industry, a guy called Steve Jobs, him or somebody there, had a great idea. Coffee is very cheap as well.
Yes.
But maybe go to Starbucks and pay $5 for same cheap coffee, just because you want to feel good in that place. You want to feel good in that environment. That's, it feels warm and it feels cool and whatever. So then he created iTunes, and there's I buy here for them, and I prefer to buy this. There's no virus. I'm cool. I'm Apple, whatever. So he created that, and that's I'm selling there in a bottle. If it's not the free, same thing.
It's the same,
right? The same feeling, but you're cool. You're cooler. So, but then you pay $5 for the bottle for the Starbucks coffee. So it's like if you want to pay on this sink, it's great. You just can whatever you want. Like a refill thing.
Yeah, just
pay the rent, and you can have everything and the stuff. And then we're gonna figure out how to pay to have this system. But and then there's a new society built on that, which is a society that I don't want to own anything, but I'm okay to pay to have access, organized and clean, no virus, with information anytime I want from any device. So it's cool. You pay $10 and you have it. Great. And then now this new generation accept to pay for music again.
So the generation is paying, but somebody is paying you.
Well, then it's another problem, because maybe you did a contract 20 years ago that you said, I don't care about this new technologies because I don't know.
You see? No,
so
I want to know.
This is going to be, we are in a transformation, that's what I believe. The new generation, the new young guy, the guy, the 15 years old, in his room, doing whatever,
yes.
The Cubase, the Pro Tools, he's going to upload to the Spotify, and he's going to say, I'm not going to sign with a record company. I pay the fee for Spotify, but all the rest comes to me.
You see?
But the other guys, 20 years ago, he thought it was cool to have a record company. He was begging to have a record company. He wanted to have a record company
sign a contract.
because signing a contract was like getting the best job in the world. So he was signing a contract, and the contract was one line saying that any new technologies we're gonna pay the same as the vinyls.
You see?
And the vinyls we pay like nothing because we invest in your career to be a famous guy. You want to be a famous guy, you get 8%. We get the rest. And then and then in any other technology that comes in the future, whatever in the universe, we're always gonna pay 8%. 20 years ago, and then in the contract we have 7 years contract with the option for the record company to decide to keep you or not. So they say, I keep you. 20 years ago, after, they're gonna say, I keep you and I pay 8% to the new technology because you signed that. So the thing is, it's gonna be a big.
It's not an easy job for you, for your art as an artist.
It's not easy. Yeah, you have to understand how it goes. But it's like the taxi driver. You know, it's like
so. It's
like
harder.
Uber comes and it's like destroy all the taxi drivers. You know, and any other technology can destroy it as a profession right there.
Yes, but the music is a little bit more than.
Maybe kind of like an accountant maybe you can have an app. They can all your accountant. You just scan all the stuff and do it for free. You know, all the accountants are gone. You know what I mean? So the people was affected. The photographers were affected because somebody took a picture and then a great photographer take a picture and then everybody shares, and then there's no copyright anymore. So
it's a pity.
Yeah, well, we have to be like clever to understand what's going on because otherwise we're going to be using typewriters.
Of course. I don't want to keep you anymore, even if all the stuff you say is very interesting. I would like to have some things more about your meeting with the Romanian people 2 times. Tomorrow for the first time.
Yeah.
As a teacher, and after tomorrow as a guitar hero. So
guitar hero is fun. It's an interesting name, yeah. I'm not a hero.
No. You are.
What is a hero?
For the girls around, you are. You know. You have a self-conscious. You know how it's going.
The thing is it's like a king, you know. They put it like higher chair.
Yes.
You know that you look better just because you're in a higher chair. You know, they put us in a higher, stage and like lights, and then you put a lot of people like smashed. So of course we look nicer then, but it is, it's, of course we rehearse a lot. We do we work to do like nice songs, to prepare the show, to talk to the light designer, to the sound guy, to the monitor. There's a lot of work to put something that looks great. And then people say like, wow, that's cool. I don't know if he's a hero, but that's awesome. And I'd love to be there, or I get, connected, and then basically our jobs is to share our intimacy. Because the songs that when you compose is going to be always, lonely
parts from you.
Parts from me, exactly. It's going to be like in a lonely hotel room. It's going to be in a lonely room in your house, in a lonely studio, or like in a partnership with somebody. There is an intimacy that one day is only belongs to you, and one day you're gonna
share it with
everybody. And then you just put lights and sound and create some great experience out of that. But in the end, it's this connection. And then the fans there understand. The fans of a band understand that. They connect with that, and that's why they respect you a lot. It's not a hero, but it's like somebody that they.
Okay, I will change this word. I don't use it anymore.
Yeah, it's cool.
And as a teacher,
my Italian friends, they call me the king of the Finocchio.
Yes,
the king Finocchio.
That's they call you
King Finocchio. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
And what you'll do as a teacher tomorrow, you'll speak about the show business, or you'll show them some tricks on your special guitars.
Well, I'm prepared for both, And,
so you'll see.
I like to talk about what we're talking about, the industry in general. I like to talk about it because in the end, I see a lot of talented guys that got lost sometimes.
They don't know how
is this the profession? Because they understand pretty much the romantic side of music, but there's another side, as any profession. Like a doctor can be very romantic, but he has to understand the business to get a job or to have his own clinic or something. And then I like to talk both sides because then to be a prepared musician to be a professional musician.
That's great. Anyway, I thank you very much. It was a great pleasure. If you come again, and I hope you'll do it, we'll have another chat. Thank you, Corrado, because it's because of you we had this chance, and have a good time with the kids and with the great audience you have.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for tomorrow.
It's 13. It's a special day. You believe that 13 it's good for you? It's not a problem for you, no?
No, I don't.
Usually they say it's 13.
Some people think it's lucky, some people think it's not.
Yes, that's why I'm asking. But you have no problem with the 13.
You know what? On tour, you just kind of get lost. So you ask me what day is today, you know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, someday we will meet with our people. Thank you again very much.
Thank you.